So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the UKCCF webinar. Welcome to the new platform. So I just need to test it like I normally do. If you can hear me, please type yes into the chat box at the bottom of your panels, and hopefully you can hear us okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all well. Can everybody hear me? Everybody hear me okay? Make sure everybody can hear me before we carry on. Oh, there we go. They're all in the questions box. I do apologise. I was getting a bit worried then. Nobody was letting me know, but there we go. Phew. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. So thank you for taking the time to join our webinar session today, looking at how the Hyde Group deliver a unified customer experience on social media, which is brought to you in partnership with CrowdControlHQ. My name is Chantal Newton, and I'm the Marketing Manager at the UK Contact Centre Forum. The housekeeping rules points are the same as previously, so just to quickly go through them, today's session will run for approximately 1 hour. If you're unable to stay for the whole session, the webinar is being recorded and the link will be emailed to all participants within 24 hours of the webinar ending. If you do have any questions for our panel today, please use the questions box, which everybody's just used for the sound check. Instead of the chat box, that just enables us to make sure we're tracking all the questions that you guys sent in. In case there's any discussions going on in the chat box, it just keeps them separate. And all the questions will be put to our presenters in the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So I'm just going to introduce you to our guest speakers for today. We have Jordan Smith, who is the Head of Customer Success at CrowdControlHQ. Pardon me. We have Tanya Moravec, who is the Digital Communications Officer at the Hyde Group, and Sarah Bishop, Customer Service Manager, also from the Hyde Group. And to get today's session started, I'm just going to pass you over to Jordan. Thank you, Jordan.
Thanks, Chantal. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining this afternoon. So I'm Jordan. I'm the Head of Customer Success here at CrowdControlHQ. So yeah, you'll be pleased to know I'm not a salesperson. My role really at CrowdControlHQ is to help our users deliver a successful project. So I'm here today just to briefly talk about what we do as a company, as a platform, and who we are really, so just as a representation for the company. Now, before I start diving in and looking at specifics in the software, I just wanted to touch on some of our clients we work with. So here's our some of our awesome client base. And actually, I was having a look, had a bit of a sneak peek at Tanya's and Sarah's slides and what's to come. And I found that although Hyde is a housing organisation, a lot of the key points, especially around the importance of engaging with your audience and having that oversight of who's doing what on social media and who can publish what, is really important across the board, really. And I think that as the importance of social media grows, we're only going to see that trend and that importance increasing, really. So what do we do? So at our heart, we're a software company. We're a social media management platform specifically, and our aim is to build super cool and simple to use software. So what are the key benefits? It's about helping you unlock the true potential of social media, bringing all of your social media accounts together in one place, providing users with secure individual access, so no more sharing accounts and leaving yourself vulnerable to a GDPR nightmare, ensuring that teams can work together seamlessly, protecting you against any reputational issues or like bad press, for example, and then helping you make more informed decisions. And then finally, and probably the most important thing for me and my team, is working with organizations as a partnership, be it at the beginning, during the onboarding stage, and then ongoing engagement and partnership in order for people to reach their goals. So how do we do that? For us, enterprise social media is about embedding social media as part of your strategy. So we've built a framework, as you can see here, to allow organizations to do this in the most efficient way possible. And as part of the sort of onboarding and ongoing partnership, we'll work through these different components with you. And what I found is sort of over the years working with the different organizations, a lot of these different components actually tie in together. So, in order to improve your reputation, you need to be engaging with your audience, and even down to the evaluation piece there around analyzing your activity, focusing on what's working well, what's not working too well with your social media campaigns, looking at the inbound volumes and seeing when you're most busy so that you can direct the relevant team at the relevant times is only going to help to build your audience. And that's just a couple of examples, really. Now, I've just sort of scratched the surface there. Before I hand over to Tanya, I just wanted to say, if anyone did have any questions around social media management or enterprise social media, here are my contact details. Feel free to give me a shout. As I said, I'm not going to sort of try and flog you some software, but I do have a lot of resources, case studies around, how different organizations are using tools like this. And I'm happy to answer any questions. And then, of course, if you did want to look into the software in a bit more detail, then I can put you in touch with the right person. So yeah, that's it from me. Thanks for your time, everyone. And I'm now going to hand you over to Tanya at the Hyde Group.
There we go, finally. Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar this afternoon. My name is Tanya Moravec and I'm Digital Communications Officer at the Hyde Group. I'm going to be talking to you this afternoon along with Sarah Bishop, who's one of our customer service managers, about how at the Hyde Group we deliver a unified customer experience on social media. So who are the Hyde Group? Well, as Jordan mentioned, we are a housing association. We have around 100,000 customers across around 50,000 homes in London and the South East. Most of our customers are social housing tenants, but we also have around 10,000 homeowners. We are a member of the G15, which is a group of 15 of the largest housing associations in London. And part of my role within the communications team is to manage our various social media accounts, creating outbound content and monitoring inbound posts. Sarah manages a team of 10 customer service officers and she oversees our social customer care team of 4. Hopefully I can move on to the next slide. There we go. So this is a little snapshot of some of our pages on social media. We began our social media journey around 10 years ago. And since then, it's evolved to we now have around 42,000 followers across 6 separate channels that are targeted at different audiences. So up in the right-hand corner, you'll see a screenshot of our corporate Twitter page at Hyde Housing. We have around 12,500 followers currently on that page. Then we have 2 dedicated customer-facing accounts. We have our Twitter account for customers at My Hyde Home, and we have our Facebook page for customers. We also have 2 dedicated accounts. So we have a Facebook and a Twitter page dedicated to for new home buyers under our Hyde New Homes brand. And finally, we have a LinkedIn page. and we provide customer service across all of these channels. So customers can essentially contact us on any one of those 6 channels. So, oops, technical error, sorry. Having established our presence on social media, we began to realise back in around 2015 that we were facing a number of challenges. We were seeing an increasing number of customers choosing to contact us via social media, and we wanted to make sure that we could provide a good quality, consistent and timely level of service via social. Initially, social media was managed by the comms team, but we realised that if we wanted to really provide a better, quicker service on social media, we needed to get more people involved and really unlock its full potential. However, at the same time, we needed to manage the risks involved with having multiple users, for example, sharing passwords and keeping track of responses. And we also needed a strategy for dealing with negative comments, abuse towards staff, and obviously for managing any reputational risk. So the solution, oops, sorry, I keep double clicking because I'm not being patient. I'm going to have to go up. There we go. So the solution for us was to introduce CrowdControlHQ into the organisation in 2015. And this was really to maximise use and minimise the risks associated with social media. We found the system to be very user-friendly. It has an intuitive dashboard, and it has features that are really important to us. For example, a validation function and a dedicated area, a conversations area for customer service. Essentially, crowd control enabled us to bring users across the business onto social media, and in particular to create a specialised social customer service team. And right from the start, we set up a validation process. So this means that all responses from customer service are double checked by a colleague before publishing. And we drew up community guidelines or house rules for our customers to follow when engaging with us on social media. We also trained our out-of-hours providers on the software so that they're able to pick up emergencies or reputational risk after our teams have logged off for the day or at weekends. So I mentioned our community guidelines. We set these up in consultation with our involved residents, and they lay out just some simple rules for customers around being polite, respecting staff, respecting other users, not using any derogatory comments, etc. when they choose to engage with us via social media. We find that these really help make our pages safe. They make it more an inclusive place for our users, and they have the benefit of allowing us to nip any issues in the bud before they escalate. So they protect our staff, but they also protect our online community, because we don't want people to feel nervous or fearful about coming onto social media because they see derogatory comments. We want it to be an inclusive place where they can come and engage with us. So we publish these community guidelines on the website. That's a screenshot of our website. There are more than 2 points. I just couldn't fit the full list on there. We publish them on the website and pin them at the top of our social media profiles, and they're readily available to signpost to customers if they do post inappropriate comments. So for us, they're a really intrinsic part of our social media policy, because they allow our customer service staff and our out-of-hours teams to respond to abuse effectively and not to be afraid of it. So just to recap on the benefits of using crowd control and how it's enabled us to have this joined up approach between comms and customer service. It's an all-in-one social media management platform. It gives us full visibility of all our social media accounts in one place. It's secure, so there's no more worry about sharing passwords, and it has a clear audit trail showing each individual team member's activity, so that at any given point, any of our social media users can log on to the platform. They can see, oh, I can see that Susan answered that customer's inquiry at 10 o'clock this morning. That's good. It's all there. It's visible. The conversations tab is key for our teams. It allows customer service to open and close a conversation. They can assign it to a colleague. They can leave notes on an ongoing issue. It allows them to prioritize their responses. So it creates this really, really efficient workflow. As I've mentioned, the validation or the second pair of eyes process is a key part of our strategy. It helps us maintain high quality responses. It allows us to have a consistent tone of voice across social, correct grammar and spelling, and all of these help protect our online reputation and our brand. So really, we've found that having this joined up approach with the comms team and customer service working in unison, it's really helped us improve our customer satisfaction. We've seen the results in the positive feedback that we get, and we're confident it supports our digital strategy. We've seen more traffic to the website and an increased take up of our digital services. So I'm now going to hand over to Sarah, and she's going to talk to us in a bit more depth about how we deliver a better, faster customer experience via social media.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about how customer services helps look after social media. So we do have 4 members of staff that are specifically trained to deal with social media. They don't all work on social media at the same time. We usually have just one person doing it daily, and we would split that up throughout the course of the week. So we take on average about 450 direct messages per month across all of our networks, and an average of 200 inbound interactions per month. So we have found this is a really good way of building relationships with our residents as well, especially if we manage to get to the root of the problem and resolve it. It's a two-way conversation, and sometimes it is just a matter of saying, thank you, we will look into this, and we will go back to them and say, this is what's going to happen, and someone will be in touch with you and it will be dealt with, and you'll get a lovely response from the person that has posted, the customer that's posted, because they're really grateful. So it's all about social listening. So and they do feel that they are being listened to. Our out of hours do deal with our social media contact, but it is really minimal. So I think people, customers are very aware that it's usually a 9 till 5 that we deal with all of our social media, but just in case, we do give them that 24/7 as well, and it is always monitored. So we will never ask for information publicly either. We will, if it's a very sensitive case, and we require additional information, we will ask them to DM us over all that information. So there is no sensitive information given in the public domain at all. So and as Tanya and Jordan have said, everything is under one place, and whoever is dealing with social media can go back over any previous conversations and just pick it up just like that. So there's no going backwards and forwards either. They don't have to start the whole social journey over again. So so our response time is that we, Monday to Friday, 9 till 5, is 2 hours. Getting to social media queries quickly is a key factor. It's a key factor to customer satisfaction, and it also stops any negative comments coming through. So people tend to think that people use social media when it's a last resort, but that's not always the case. So there is a lot of people out there who will only deal with things through web chat, through social media, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, whichever way that they can. So getting to them quickly is key. So it does rely on the whole organisation buying in to social media. So in customer services, we can do our bit, but we do rely on other parts of the business to support us. So how we've dealt with that is we have a contact list. So if we need to go to a specific department regarding a specific problem, we will just go to that one person and they will provide us a response within that 2-hour time frame so that we can go back to them. And it is an opportunity to show that we are a organisation that is human. So all our social media staff go on a course, and it's I Am Hyde, and it's about bringing the human side to social media. So, and it's okay to build that relationship, and it's okay to sometimes to give a little gif, and you know, and to add the human side to it, so people don't think that they're just talking to a robot or someone that is just following procedure. So we you know, we do very much support people being human in their approach. So staff are selected on their knowledge on this and also their performance. And before we allow them to do social media, we go through a recruitment process within customer services. So, and we will ask them to do a written test so that we can see. Obviously, this is very much in the public domain. But we do like to give everybody the opportunity. So, and if someone wasn't successful at the time, then that's when we would use our coaching to give them the skills to do that. So we do always go back if we get some, you know, someone comes back to us to say thank you. We always say it was really good to get this resolved for you. We're pleased we've resolved this for you, and have a great day. And if there's anything further, please contact us, and residents do appreciate that. So as Tanya mentioned, we won't have abusive behaviour on across any of our platforms, and if that does come across, then we will remind them you know, of our housekeeping, of the guides, of the rules of social media. And if somebody is naming and shaming a particular member of staff, we will also just give that staff a bit of a heads up, so in case anything comes through to them directly. So one lesson that we have learned on our social media journey is it's not the end of the world to get negative feedback. It is a really good lesson. So yes, we do get our negative feedback, but we look at that as a learning process. So what has gone wrong? What lessons have been learnt from this? And what can we do in future to improve that? So it is very much a learning curve for us as well. And as I say, social listening is becoming more and more a part of everyday life for all of our residents and us as organisations as well. So We do monitor our response time, and it, as I say, it is 2 hours. And even if we're not going to get that customer a response in 2 hours, we will go back to them with a answer saying thank you for contacting us. We will be back in touch with you. We are looking into this for you. So it's just about always keeping our customers updated. So it is such, and as I said, it is such a good way for an organisation to learn from what is being said on social media. So sometimes it's just about, we would have to go back and set expectations. It's where somebody's expectations haven't been met, and it's okay to be open and honest on social media as well. So we don't hide anything. Part of Hyde's values is about being open and honest with our residents. So and we can help customers so much faster. So we will get queries regarding can I keep a pet? Can I add update households? And we will just send them the links, and we will do our digital shift that way. So it has many, many benefits of using social channels. So it has helped us improve our customer satisfaction. So and it also helps us, we are very aware of what our peaks are, so we know when social media is going to become very, very busy, and it's usually in February and September. We know that our traffic is going to go up because past trends have taught us that, and we make sure that we are prepared for that incoming traffic. So yeah, so it's a great way of being able to get your customers and customers coming to you. So thank you, that's it from myself.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm just going to go through and see if we have any questions. Let's have a look. So Sarah, I've just got a question from Alison. Please, can you repeat the name of the course you sent your social media CS agents on?
Yes, it's I Am Hyde course.
Thank you, Alison. I hope that answers your question. Is that an internal course?
Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect. Alison, if you've got any more questions regarding...
I can speak a little bit more about that if you'd like, because it is an internal course, but it's run by a company called The First Word. And it's all around, as Sarah mentioned, it's all around our culture and being open and honest with customers and using natural language, not hiding behind, you know, a third party, but saying I take responsibility for something rather than, you know, rather than the contractor. Or it's really helped our customer satisfaction levels.
Perfect, thank you, Alison. I hope that answers your question. And let's just have a look. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen a second. There we go. That'll just go back to the webcams. Let's have a look. Here we go. So we've got a question here. Love to see businesses embracing their employees' personalities and being human on social. I was just wondering if it's a conscious decision not to use names of customer service reps on social media and just be CS team.
So some of our customer service staff do actually sign off with their names. So we have left it down to individuals. If that's what they would like to do, then they do. But we do have a couple of people that do actually use their names. They sign it off with their Christian names.
Perfect, thank you. Here we go. So this is a question, I think it's regarding that internal training. Tanya, would you mind popping in the chat the name of the company that you use for the internal training, just for everybody to copy? Thank you.
I'll do that now.
Thank you so much. So the next question: have you thought about IG, Instagram, and how do you manage inquiries that come through other channels?
Okay, I'll answer that one if that's okay. So I mentioned at the beginning of my slides our different channels. We do actually use Instagram. So Hyde New Homes is our brand for new homes, and they launched Instagram last year, so it's still in its infancy, and we haven't incorporated it onto CrowdControlHQ at the moment. And we're kind of using it as a little bit of a test bed to see how it goes before potentially launching a Hyde corporate Instagram channel. So I think there was a second part to that question. Could you just remind me?
So have you thought about IG, Instagram, and how do you manage inquiries that come through other channels?
So yes, because we haven't incorporated that onto Crowd Control, we do respond to inquiries via the native site.
Perfect, thank you, Jade. I hope that answers your question. How do you identify which staff have the skills for social media?
So we will look at their ability, and as I say, we do go through a recruitment process. So and within customer services, so what we would do is we would set them some scenarios, some real live scenarios, and we would see how they would respond to them. So, and then we would go from there. So they would have to be quite knowledgeable, because you can't afford to get it wrong. So we need someone who can be fast-paced, quick thinking, and so that is how we would do it. They do have to be a top performer as well. They do have to be hitting all of their KPIs that have been set for them.
Perfect, thank you. I hope that answers that question. Just following on from the Instagram, the same lady's asked, do you remove followers who would go against your policies, your community policies?
We have on occasion removed followers. We have blocked them from our channels, but only after we've exhausted all avenues, really. I mean, we've got the community guidelines, we remind them of those. If they continue to disrespect them, then if they're a tenant, they would have a letter from their tenancy officer warning them that if they continue to go against our social media rules, that can actually constitute a breach of their tenancy. So we do go, there is a process, we don't do it lightly, and we do, you know, want people to engage with us, and we give them every opportunity to do that. But if they really, you know, if we get to the point where they really just don't want to engage positively with us, or they're continually disregarding our guidelines, then we will take steps to block them. Yes.
Great, thank you. I hope that answers that question. One for you, Jordan. Do you have any methods or advice on how to increase customer engagement across social channels, so Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for that question. I think the key, firstly, is to identify the nature of your audience. And then it's about analyzing sort of what works and what doesn't. So in this CrowdControlHQ software, you can view all of your posts and they're all ranked. So you can see sort of what content people are resonating with, what they aren't. Is it the fact that you're publishing a video tutorial, for example? Is it the fact that you're pushing more messages, showing when you are open, giving people a sense that a welcoming sense, I guess, that they can get in touch. And then when you do get the chance then to actually engage with the audience and they do get in touch, it's about sort of the key points that Tanya and Sarah mentioned about making sure you do have that fast response time. You get a chance, you get that sort of one chance to impress really So you do have to take it. And once you find that, if people do have a question, they find that the fastest route to getting an answer is through social media. Not only will they get in touch again, but they'll also recommend it as well, because it makes sense.
That's great, thank you. I hope that answers that question. So are your IVR/telephony and email channels managed on separate platforms? If so, how did the team find moving between them? So for you, Tanya and Sarah.
So yeah,
let Sarah answer that one.
yeah. So okay, so I have a team of 4 that look after social media, but as I say, we do it on a rota basis, and they will be signed off any other activity while they are dealing with social media. That is their focus. So so one will be doing social media, and then the other 3 will be looking after our Omni. So they will deal with all the incoming emails for customer services and across the organisation, and dealing with them that way. So and that will be it. So they will not be due on the phones at all through those set days. So, and we do have a look at volumes every day. Social media will always have a presence every single day, and they will, depending on the volume of emails that we have coming in, it may just be that we have one other person off doing Omni, and then the other 2 will be on the phones for the day. Our phones, our IVR does not direct them to social media.
Perfect, thank you. I hope that answers your question. Another one for Jordan. Are you addressing quantum security and quantum computing? I don't know if that
Sorry,
makes more sense to you than it does to me. I think that's more of a techie question. So it just says, are you addressing quantum security and quantum computing? Is that a bit techie?
I'll be honest, yeah, it's a bit outside of my realm, but I guess if you've got the person who asked that question, if they email me, I can get an answer for you essentially. But yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to speak about
That's
that now.
fine, perfect. What I have done, because I'm having issues with my computer here, I've taken the slides down, but I have put Jordan's contact details in the chat box. So if you just navigate to your chat boxes, you'll see there that I've posted Jordan's email address and mobile number, as was on the slides previously. So please feel free to reach out to Jordan directly. Just a couple more questions. So I believe this is for Sarah and Tanya. What is your SLA and how do you keep to this?
Our SLA for social media is a 2-hour response. So, and we do manage to answer within those 2 hours. It may be that it will be, thank you very much for your response. We are looking into this. So, and we will come back to you. So we don't have an issue hitting that 2-hour response at all. You just need to make sure that whoever is doing your social media, that they are very quick, and that so, and you know, there are, if you've got someone on there who is being very loud, being that they've got a complaint, and it's I want to say being a bit of a screamer, so we will go to those first, so that we can get them offline and we can start resolving their issue straight away. So, but we haven't had an occasion yet where we haven't hit that 2-hour SLA.
And
That's
Sarah, I just wanted
Monday.
to. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I was just going to add to that. Was that so 2 hours is a really good sort of SLA, really? Is that a gradual thing that you've slowly worked towards 2 hours, or did you start with a 2-hour SLA?
Gonna have to let Tanya answer that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, when we set up social media and we decided we were going to tackle customer service via social, we established Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, we would be responding. We thought a 2-hour SLA would be a reasonable one to have, and we have managed to stick to it. I mean, in most cases, we're below that. Like, as Sarah mentioned, even if it's just a case of thanking the customer for their inquiry and saying, you know, we'll look into it and we'll get back to them as soon as we can, that would still count as responding to them within that SLA. And outside of the Monday to Friday 9 to 5, then out of hours would pick up any issues that are emergencies. But it's clear on the native platforms on social media that those are the times that we monitor, Monday to Friday 9 to 5, and anything else would be, you know, an emergency.
Perfect, thank you. I think I've got one last question here. If you do have any more questions, please pop them in that questions box and I will get to them. But for now, I've got, is the importance of social media recognised by senior people in your organisation? Is it actively pushed, or do you follow your customer's choice of channel?
I would say yes, it is recognised across the board from senior levels. So, and we go with the customers. So if they wish to pick up the phone and talk to us, whether it's social media, whether it's online forms or through our website, we are led by what our customers want. We will not push them to social media. We will not push them one way or the other. It's about being there for all of our customers, and whatever channels they choose to come through.
Absolutely.
Perfect, thank you. So I seem to have been able to resolve, there we go, that issue. There we go. So there's, oops, oh dear. Technology, I think you just love it when it goes right. There we go. Jordan's details, if you haven't already copied them from our chat box. So you've got there his email address and his mobile number, but you'll all get a follow-up email which will also contain this information. So please feel free to reach out directly. So if everybody's happy, just a last quick check to make sure there's no other questions. Nope. There we go. Nope, no other question on there. I'm going to close off if that's okay with my panel. So that concludes today's session. I put my teeth back in, I might be able to speak for you guys. I'd just like to thank everybody for taking the time to attend today, and I hope that you all found the information provided today very thought-provoking. A very special thank you to Jordan, to Tanya and to Sarah for delivering today's presentation. Just a reminder that today's session has been recorded and the link to the replay will be emailed to you within the next 24 hours. And again, I'll include Jordan's contact details for you. For more information on membership of the UK Contact Centre Forum and for a full list of all our upcoming events, please visit our website, which is www.uk-ccf.co.uk. I look forward to welcoming you all again in future sessions. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Stay safe and goodbye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.